Big data refers to extremely large data sets that may be analyzed computationally to reveal patterns, trends, and associations, especially relating to human behavior and interactions. Technologically, big data presents huge challenges to the capturing, curation, search, sharing, storage, analytics, transfer, and visualization of all digital information. The rise of big data and related technologies also brought unprecedented problems in social, economic, ethical, political, and legal realms. For example, issues related to personal privacy and data security are at the center of many political debates today. The word big in big data does not only refer to the size of the data set, but also its complexity. Experts used 4 V's to capture the essence of the word big in big data. Variety, referring to the different forms of data. Volume, referring to the scale of the data set. Velocity, which is the speed at which new incoming data can be analyzed. And veracity, which is the uncertainty of the data. Big data is intuitively easy, but substantively difficult to understand. This has led to many myths among non-experts and lay users. For example, casual observers tend to think that big data is only big in size without considering its diversity and complexity. There's a myth that big data means good data. But voluminous and complex data sets are not always of good quality. They can be noisy and unreliable, and not every piece of the data is relevant to the problem ahead. We often use the word mining to describe big data analytics. Mining is a process of going through and separating useful things from those that are not. And you often have to wade through a lot of junk to get to the gold. The third myth is that big data always gives concrete and accurate answers. You often hear people say that big data and machine learning technologies can now solve all complex problems. But this is not true. While big data analytics can help reveal hidden patterns that are hard for humans to detect, the insights gained from traditional and small sample research are still extremely valuable. Advertisers cannot be replaced by engineers and data scientists in solving marketing problems, because the latter can only provide the right answers if the right questions are asked. Big data and machine learning are merely tools that people use to solve problems, but it does not mean that the problems can be solved automatically. The ability to address real-world issues requires not only knowing how to use these modern tools, but also when to use them. There is a variety of data that marketing and advertising professionals should pay attention to. They fall into 3 broad categories: structured data, human source data, and machine-generated data. Structured data, or processed records, is information that has already been collected and organized. An example of structured data in business application is a database of customer information and sales records. Other useful structured data include publicly available information such as census data, demographic information, and financial records. Human-sourced or user-generated data is a record of human activities and experience. This includes books, artwork, photos, videos, or any creative work generated by humans. User-generated information is now almost entirely digitized and accessible ubiquitously from personal computers to shared networks. For example, social media users generate all sorts of data by simply using the technology. They post pictures and videos, write product reviews, and send messages to each other. And such activities and the resulting content are all recorded as digital data. For thousands of years, only the content generated by a small selection of intellectuals and artists was preserved. But today, everybody is contributing information and content by simply using digital technologies. And every single piece of content we produce on digital media can be preserved. The third type of data is machine-generated data, such as information automatically collected by sensors and logs of computing transactions. For example, environmental sensors record the movement of airflow and temperature on a constant basis. Computer logs keep track of human users' digital footprints. When someone logs onto a website, reads a particular article, or sends a message, these activities are logged automatically on a computer server. This record can be used to reconstruct a person's entire online experience. So, how is big data used in marketing communications? Well, data is the very foundation of almost all types of analytics or analyses required to target consumers. The more information we know about someone, the more accurately we can predict their future behavior. For example, if you meet somebody for the first time and wish to determine if you want to develop a more meaningful relationship with that person, you may want to know more about this person before further engagement. The more information you have about the person's past behavior, their likes and dislikes, the more confident you can be about your decision. So how do you gather this information? Well, you can go on Facebook, ask your friends, search public records, Google them. Now, using big data and related technologies, businesses and advertisers can find out more about their target consumers on a much larger scale.